Hi there YouTube, Voan here today, and today I'm gonna bring you a very special retro review, or kind of like semi-retro review, considering that this product is not really all that retro enough. So, but yeah, it's kind of feel a little bit retro if you could think about it. But yeah, so this product here, this is called the AGP, or what really it stands for is that it's AGP stands for Advanced Game Port. So this thing is an accessory add-on for the GameCube that was made by a company called Untitled, and they sell this thing through Code Junkies. And this thing is an alternative to the GameCube's Game Boy player right there. So this thing will allow you to play your Game Boy Advance games through the GameCube on your TV up there. Fortunately, it's meant for CRTs or any standard TV, so it's not really for HD TV at all. But yeah, this advanced game port will allow you to play your Game Boy Advance game. Now it could only play Game Boy Advance only, so you really can't play games like Duke Nukem here on the Game Boy Color, and you also can't play games like Donkey Kong Land in there either. So Game Boy Colors and regular Game Boy games will not work, but it will definitely play a lot of your Game Boy Advance games like Tekken Advance here. So yeah, with and usually with this kind of third-party accessory here, they kind of have some lacking quality to them. Some of them are pretty much really cheap or cheaply made. So whenever you buy something like this from a third party, they usually comes with some of them comes with like a few extra features in there that will make it worthwhile to get. But they also, the defining quality for these are kind of a little bit meh at best, and I'll show you why once we start test this thing. But as you know, yeah, all you have to do to really make this thing work is you just take this. This is pretty much it usually comes like on the front here. You got this add-on thing where you can plug in your favorite Game Boy games. So you take a game like Tekken Advance here, and then you plug it in there like that. So it's kind of like it's eating something, or it's putting its mouth on something. It's kind of like a creature putting something on his mouth. And then it has like this tail here, this wire, and on the back end of the wire it has this memory card style attachment here. So this, you have to attach it to the GameCube's memory slot number 2. Otherwise, if you plug it to the first one, it's not gonna read anything. So you can plug it right here and plug that to your GameCube on the second slot there. Now, to make this thing really work, you have to use a boot disk, similar to what the Game Boy player used. So if you bought this brand new at the time, it came with a disc that looks like this. So it says Advanced Game Port right there for the Nintendo GameCube. Play Game Boy Advance titles on your GameCube. As you can see, this is not a game. There's the website right there from Code Junkies, and it's actually a product from Untitled. If you look at the fine reading right there, you can tell, yeah, there's Untitled Design and Development Ltd. Advanced Game Port is a trademark of Untitled Design, something like that. So yeah, that company pretty much made this as an alternative for the Game Boy player. So yeah, enabled to boot the game up, you open your GameCube like so. Now my GameCube and all my systems that I will gonna play for now is gonna be down here under this little cabinet here. So the distance inside, if you look at back over here, there's not Super Nintendo and NES over there too. So all these systems are still works. So I could easily I could easily turn to whichever system I want. So PS2 is down there, Wii U is right there, GameCube is right there, Dreamcast is there, and yeah, like I said, all my clone systems, I will play them later, but all these systems down here, whenever we're gonna have competition or something, we're gonna play them, then they're ready to go. But as for advanced game port, it's already ready to go. All we had to do is power on the system. But before that, you also need a controller to plug it in so you can play. And I pretty much use a Super Nintendo controller to play these kinds of games, so I use it via this adapter I reviewed last time. So as you can tell, that allows me to play my Super Nintendo controller with this. It also works really good with the Game Boy player. So once I get to that review, I'll eventually talk more about it. But yeah, let's see how this third-party Game Boy thing does. So if you turn it on, you can see up there. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this now. You just have to get used to how it looks like that. But if we go up more, it'll look quite like that. And you get this menu, and it'll say AGP and cheat kit. So it will allow you to cheat, and at the same time, if you want, you can you play your Game Boy Advance game. So we have Tekken Advance in there right now, and we can start on that. So if you press on that, it'll pretty much gonna show you. It'll show you like a bar that's loading the game. So if you press A. Yeah, or it's not, or sometimes, yeah, there's the bar down there, so it's loading now. And yeah, there it is. There's the Game Boy game that Game Boy Advance game that we just loaded. And there's Tekken Advance in its glorious GBA quality thing there. And yeah, there's arcade versus and all that stuff. Now, the one little complaint that I have, or a little bit average complaint I have, is that the gameplay for this does not run very well. The emulations and frame rates and all that, as you can tell, it plays really slow. If we press start on that, and we press start here, and then we press start here again, and there it is. Here's all the characters in the game. I'll just choose Far Rain and show you guys how kind of average it goes. You can tell the announcer is having trouble announcing things, like round 1, fight. He kind of said fight twice if you listen real close there. And the speed of the game is not really that smooth or fast like you would if you play on the Game Boy player. So yeah, it is pretty bad actually. Not really that enjoyable to play at all. I'm using the Super Nintendo controller, so if I press like that, but yeah, Tekken Advance, playing on this little Game Boy adapter here, the advanced game port, it works, just doesn't work very well. So let's see. Yeah, so it's kind of feel like you're playing a slow-mo version of the game rather than like the smoother version. So that's pretty much how Tekken Advance or any Game Boy Advance game will play like if you plug it on this thing. But if you press the Z button, which is the select button here, you get all these nice little cheat stuff that you can use too for the game. That's only if you want to cheat. If you're the kind of player who wants to cheat on things, this adapter will allow you to cheat on any games that you're not good at. So yeah, as much as I like to cheat though, with a gameplay that's slow and sloppy like this, it's not my kind of thing. So to me, for me, this adapter right here, I can show you again. Yeah, this adapter there. Yeah, this as nice a design this is, and the idea that it's trying to do, it could not compete with the Game Boy player. And I'll test that. I'll test that as the coming weeks comes by. But yeah, this thing, it gives its best. It has a nice little alternative. It allows you to cheat without actually buying any of those cheat devices. But at the same time, the gameplay is kind of sloppy. The speed is kind of slow, and even with a good controller, you're not gonna be able to get anywhere. I mean, not gonna much of enjoyment with it compared to if you play it on the actual Game Boy player or an actual GBA. So I say only get this if you don't have any other choice, maybe. And this thing is really cheap nowadays too. If you could find it, if you could find it at eBay or something, it might go for around 20. Just these things though, I mean, the disc will cost you a lot more though. It'll probably be around the 30 or 40, maybe even higher, but that's because the disc is really rare. Now, a lot of people will claim that this may work with the Wii and might probably be the only way for you to play your Game Boy Advance games on the Wii. All I have to say to that is, nope, not gonna happen. You are never going to get to play these kinds of games on the Wii. The Wii will not be able to play any Game Boy games at all, and I can prove that to you right now. So let's take this thing out and let's plug this to the Wii. Okay, so we have the advanced game port plugged into the Wii now, and as you can tell, there it is. Please insert a disc. So it just needs to insert this disc, and then we may be able to play it, but I can tell you it's never gonna work. So there it is. The Wii is down there with the advanced game port is all plugged in. Let's take this disc and we'll plug it in. So it went in. Let's see the results. Not gonna happen. Unable to read the disc. The GameCube read this disc just fine a while ago, so the Wii U will not even take this disc. And just to make sure that it's not because my Wii can't read disc anymore, I mean, really, we could test that too if there's any complaint about my Wii can't read disc. So let's take that disc out. I mean, this disc is good the way it is, so there's nothing. I mean, there might be minor scratches on the back, but it still works on the GameCube. So if this thing really does work on the Wii, on the GameCube and the Wii, if it works on the GameCube, it should be able to work on the Wii too. And my Wii read disc just fine. I have all these games to prove it too. So Ogami works just fine. So if you look at it and plug it in there, there it is. And if you look up there, you can tell the Wii game is kinda loading. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So Okami works great. And if you think that maybe that's just a lucky thing, maybe we have to test the GameCube side of thing. Maybe GameCube game might not work, perhaps. Maybe that must be the case then. Let's try Soul Calibur 2. Maybe Soul Calibur 2 might have a problem then if the Wii side works. So we play Soul Calibur 2 for GameCube on the Wii. Let's see if GameCube game loads. And it loads just fine, actually. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. I mean, if we press start right now, it'll start. So, fortunately, I gotta use this remote to actually make it start. Come on. So there it is. So if we go to start, it'll load Soul Calibur just fine, like exactly like it was on the GameCube. And there it is. It's loading Soul Calibur. Doesn't have memory. I didn't plug in a memory card, so it doesn't read memory cards. But yeah, if you play it, it'll load just like that. Fortunately, this camera sucks, so just have to deal with the bad quality pictures there. But this just goes to prove to you that my Wii can still read GameCube and Wii games just fine. So yeah,
Soul Calibur 2.
So there's really nothing wrong. There's really nothing wrong with my Wii.
Soul Calibur 2.
So really nothing wrong with my Wii about the disc thing. So surely enough, that disc on the advanced game port is not compatible with the Wii. And some people might say maybe it's just maybe I just had to clean it a little bit. I cleaned it for a lot of times now. It doesn't have that much of a scrap. So this is one of the discs. It just cannot read. Fortunately, this is not the only disc I have. I mean, I have two of them. So if this one doesn't work, maybe this one might. So let's plug it in, perhaps, and see how it goes. So surely there can't be like ears. There can't be ears with this one too. I mean, I have two of them, and both of them work on the GameCube. So if you look at there, let's see. So yeah, let's see if this one works. Maybe unable to read the disc. I mean, that one does not work. This one does not work. Let's retry again. Maybe this time we might get lucky then. This is the third time. So if it doesn't work, then the verdict is already there. You can tell the disc is spinning inside the Wii. You can hear that noise. And it just wouldn't read. So yeah, all you people who wanted to play Game Boy Advance games on your Wii, just keep dreaming. It's not gonna happen. There's no way you can ever gonna play your Game Boy Advance games on the Wii. The only option for you people is if you modify your Wii to play Game Boy ROMs. That is the only way. I mean, you probably won't be able to play anything else on the Wii unless it's mod. So legitimately, you can only play GameCube or Wii games or any of those digital download stuff. So my final verdict on this thing, the advanced game port, it's a nice accessory. It only works on the GameCube and only the GameCube. So even if this little dongle here, attachment here, could be plugged into the GameCube compatible Wii, it's not gonna work. The disc doesn't even read. So all I have to say is, if you have a GameCube and you want to play your Game Boy Advance games, you don't even have to bother with this. Just get a Game Boy player and play all your Game Boy Advance games that way. I mean, you have better qualities, the gameplay is smoother, and you got link cables that you can play multiplayer with and all that stuff. But this, it allows you to cheat. That's a good thing, I think. But the game is sloppy and slow, and the sound is kind of off. The announcer has trouble with announcing things and all that stuff. So I say don't bother with this thing. I mean, even if it's cheap, you could try to collect it if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it to buy it to play anything, actually. But it is kind of like a neat little thing that they try. They try to compete with Nintendo and actually fail with it. So, but yeah, only for GameCube. So if you want to play this for a Wii, you probably might need to hack another disc that might be able to make this work, or maybe yeah, if you could find some way to make a GameCube OS on the Wii, that will make it work. But right now, a GameCube compatible Wii will not take this. I mean the tail disc is not even. I mean, the Wii doesn't even take the tail disc. I think it might be because of Nintendo's firmware update for the Wii as well. Maybe that might be one of the things, but the freeloader that tail release for the Wii, for the GameCube, does work on the Wii. However, this advanced game port does not. So yeah, I don't think you could. I don't think there's any more reason to buy these things. If you want it, you could get it just to test some of them, but or to cheat and stuff. But to me, I say don't bother. That if I had to get a grade for this, at least it gets a D at the most. I mean, the cheat stuffs are the only things that you might want to try, but other than that, I say don't bother with it. It's not gonna make your game runs any smoother, and it doesn't have any nifty features other than the cheat stuff. So I'm Voan. Hope you have a great day. I'll get to other reviews of my other stuff. I'm planning to review my advanced game, the retro advanced adapters, and the Game Boy player adapters, and maybe the Super Game Boy as well. I mean, I tested those with all my clones and all stuff, but never did a review on them. So I'll review them later in the future. But for now, do not, if you really want to get this thing, then I say, well, you can find it online if you can. It's not available that much, but I mean, if you do find it, I say rethink about it. Maybe get the Game Boy player instead. This will not make all your games play that good, and only get it if you want to cheat. But if you don't want to cheat, then I say stick with the Game Boy player. So you have a great day. I'll bring some more videos later on in the month or the coming month, and yeah.